Hello and welcome to this week's Goddess Asteroids and Gene Key podcast. So we're entering a really powerful week ahead. The COP26 conference begins tomorrow, 31st of October, on climate change, and it feels like a whole wave of sacred activism, of people coming together all over the globe to say, let's take care of our beautiful planet Earth. So astrologically, it feels like, we've been in a really powerful time, which I've been talking about in the podcast. And this week it just continues, really. It's really amazing what's going on. And what I love about the Goddess Asteroids is they offer us a kind of extra level of understanding the depth, and the gene keys as well give us much more, I feel, accurate information about what is being activated right now. Okay, so I'm going to screen share, and we're going to begin with the new moon, which is happening on the 4th of November. That's Wednesday of this coming week. And it's going to be a liberating, revolutionary moon. We can see, let me pick up my little highlighter here. We can see that the moon and sun, so they're conjunct when we have a new moon. They are at 12 degrees Scorpio, 40 minutes. And over the other side, on the Scorpio-Taurus axis, we have Uranus in at 12 degrees 47 minutes. So very, very powerful, exact oppositional energies. So we know that Uranus in Taurus is bringing about liberation of, we might call it density. We might even, one of the Mayan prophecies were about how Earth has been in a very difficult place, and this is largely about the type of space we've actually been traveling through. So in a way, it's not anything to do with our fault, whatever. We've been in this incredibly dense environment, and this is now lifting. And one of the prophecies of 2012 is that we would get a lot more photons coming into Earth's atmosphere, and that is actually a physical reality that has come about. And these photons are changing us in different ways. They're making us lighter, and this change isn't just happening to us, it's happening to the whole of Gaia. So the animals, the plant kingdoms, the Earth herself is all part of this releasing, if you like, of energy and shifting at subtle atomic levels. And this axis of Taurus Scorpio is a really powerful one, because Taurus is about Eden, it's about the earth, abundance, and our sense of living in this incredible bounteous planet which we do live on. And if we look out there in space, Earth is just like, wow, how do we get all these plants, animals? It really leaves me kind of awestruck every day that this even exists, And then Scorpio is that journey into the underworld, perhaps where we don't perceive any of that at all. Okay, so what can the level of the gene keys tell us about what's happening? So Uranus is retrograde, as you can see, and it has been in Gene Key 2 for a while, which is pure yin, so really supporting again this opening up of yin ways of being. And now it's retrograded back into 24, which is the city of silence, and it's the shadow of addiction. So, you know, we can see so much, I feel, about how what is driving us, our addictions. Last week I talked about Ceres, who's in Gene Key 35, which has the shadow of hunger. So it's a very similar energy. You know, we're being driven by these deep addictive patterns, and actually that is the level at which we need to start addressing things, because unless we break the addiction to stuff and we go deeper into ourselves to find that sense of fulfillment and peace and connection with others, you know, we just keep on this kind of mad, crazy wheel of hamster wheel of using more and more resources and not really thinking about it, in the same way that, you know, I've had loads of addictions myself. And if we just use cigarettes as an example, you know, if you really, really thought about every single cigarette you smoke, and that's one of the ways I broke my addiction, is to think about every cigarette and what it does to your body, what it's done to millions of people around the planet. Smoking is soon going to become unbearable to you. But what we do is we stick our head in the sand. We don't think about the implications. So if you take that little example of an addiction and magnify it to what's happening on the planet, then you can see that we all have a responsibility, and also we all have something really tangible that we can do to help the planet by addressing whatever addictions are going on in ourselves. You know, addiction to clothes, addiction to cosmetics. These are all things that are having a high impact on the planet at the moment. So, living a simple life, this is the answer, free from addictions, which is extremely liberating, to free yourself from any kind of addiction and realize, you know, you didn't need it all along. It was just your mind telling you that you needed it. Okay, so the new moon is in 44 line 6 here, and Gene Key 44, with its gift of its city of synarchy, is the whole new way that humanity is gonna self-organize, or Gaia's gonna organize us basically into much more of a working together. This is the gift of teamwork. So it's really fantastic to me that this new moon is happening here. You know, this is an activation for this synarchy, because we have to fundamentally change in order to become part of this new way of being. And that is happening to us in our consciousness every day. So we can hope that this new moon is going to be a real kind of imprinting of that amazing synarchy energy. Okay, so the only other thing I'm going to look at today is what is going on with Venus here. Very exciting, because what we've got is Venus and Juno are crossing the Galactic Centre this week, and this is a part of the galaxy out there in Sagittarius, which has a huge amount to do with creation of stars, molecules, atoms, you know, you name it. The galactic center has got something to do with it. So here we have Venus, who's all about our values, about our feeling. She is the ruler of the plant kingdom. And then we have Juno, who is the goddess of the sacred marriage, the masculine and the feminine. And this is really supported as well by Pallas Athena in Pisces in Gene Key 37, which is all about equality. So we see two things going on here that are very directly related to bringing into equilibrium and harmony the male and female. So I'm feeling really drawn today, though, to think of this at the level of the hexagrams, which are all made up of 64 combinations of yin and yang. And this is the language that our DNA is using. So this is the language that actually came from the, you know, perhaps from the galactic center at some time. I once envisioned her as this amazing dark mother birthing like all the molecules that create life from her body at this incredible, you know, huge black hole center. Yeah, so we've got these yin and yang that make up these 64 codes that are our DNA, and they're also the binary codes used in computer systems that are enabling us to connect with people all over the world, which is really exciting. And I'm going to post below a YouTube video to Jamye Price, who's in Sedona. I'm here in West Yorkshire. They could have massive rainfall here. She's out there in the desert, but it always feels like what she's saying and what I'm seeing in the chart. She channels Ariane, who's from the Lyrian Council, and it's always amazing how our words and our work is kind of resonating in the same perception of what's going on. And that seems to be becoming more and more like intense. So I'm going to post her November light language video that you could see this from a different perspective and receive the light language to actually take that into your body and your being to support this process we're in now. Okay, and I just want to add here that in this little mix here, we have Astraea, who is the goddess imprinting this new golden age energy, this new subtle awareness that we are developing in ourselves as human beings. So Astraea is in Gene Key 58, line 5, which I think is really amazing because this gene key is about the release of vitality at the atomic level. When we reach a kind of place where it sounds strange, but we stop seeking. It's like we just kind of realize, well, this is how I feel this has happened for me. You know, I used to spend so much effort on seeking, spend so much money on seeking as well, and something just happened, and it was almost quite a depressing place where I realized that certain things would never change, and And in that realization, which was quite a kind of crushing moment in a way, that all my efforts had been for nothing, I kind of reached some amazing moment of peace. And I do sometimes get back into that seeking mode. But really, what I'm driven by now is something quite different, which is the desire to share love, to connect with others, to be with others in this joyful way of being that has arrived in me in the last few years. Through this kind of much more deep connection. So I very much see it as this movement of the cosmos, of Gaia, towards this gene key 44 of synarchy, this new way of being, and really being in an intimate connection with other human beings, to the extent of, it's about a level of sharing. So that's kind of what drives me now, rather than this kind of quite individual idea of fixing myself, becoming something else almost, that I realized that I wasn't going to do. It wasn't possible. But it actually opened up a better place to be, kind of arriving at the despair of not being able to fix myself was really good, because then somehow I switched to kind of loving myself as I am right now, right here. Okay, so I'm just showing you the chart also for oh, hang on, where am I? Oh, I've got the new moon chart twice. So I wanted to show you the chart for the 8th of November. Oh, I have done it. Here it is. I'm going a bit mad. Excuse me. So this is for the 8th of November. And this is the Venus's final ascending gate in the cycle that she's in right now. So it's the equivalent, if you like, of the re-crowning of Venus, and it's a crown chakra activation, and she's gone through these 7, starting at the root, and each month coming up one of the chakras. And they call Kamari kisses, these gates, when Venus meets the moon each month. And they're really powerful. I've been working with this for a year, the Venus cycle, and it's hugely beautiful and transformational. Just feeling, really, I've followed the moon cycle for many years very closely, but to kind of weave Venus in as well has brought a whole kind of other dimension. So this is happening, as I say, on the 8th, and what we can see here is that's going to happen in Gene Key 10, line 5. One of my favourite gene keys, where my moon was when I was born. And this is all about, it's the gift of naturalness, and it's the city of being. And that's perhaps what happens at the end of all the seeking. We just kind of surrender into being, which is a really beautiful place to be. And on this day, the moon will travel over Juno, there still at the Galactic Centre. It'll come into exact conjunction with Venus at 2 degrees Capricorn, and then it's going to travel also over Astraea, goddess of the golden age. She's all about sacred arts as well. So it's going to be a real divine feminine energy day on the 8th of November. That is going to be next Monday. So yeah, so that's something to look towards. Um, and actually, next year, what is coming to me is to. I have actually been with one group of women through this whole journey with Venus and the moon, and I'm going to be offering that on a platform called Soul Tribe Online. It's a beautiful high vibe. You can do Kundalini yoga, you can do EFT tapping. Just a really beautiful group of teachers and facilitators on that. So I'm going to be offering this journey with Venus in her next cycle. It's going to begin on the 9th of January 2022 when the Sun comes into inferior conjunction with Venus, and this is when the new cycle begins. So we're going to follow her for 18 months, and you know, people can jump in and out of that, or they can commit to the whole thing, which I do highly recommend that. But it's kind of open, and it's going to be about creating an inner sanctuary, a safe space within ourselves by kind of deeply exploring Venus and the moon. And embedded within that will be the Venus sequence, which is all about kind of unlocking within our DNA our early life conditioning. So it's a really powerful way to kind of purify and cleanse and maybe address beliefs and behaviors within ourselves that create a not safe space to be in. You know, sometimes we're kind of wondering why certain things are attracted to us, and you know, certain kinds of kind of dangerous energies or dark energies. So this is going to be working in that synarchy field, to not build walls, actually. In fact, it is more about us becoming transparent and open, and in this intimacy as we go through this. But it also creates like a really natural protection in the auric field. It's hard to explain, but it's not about building walls. It's actually about creating transparency, which is an extremely safe place to live in. You know? And again, that might sound really counterintuitive, but this is what Venus and the moon and working with the synarchy field have really taught me. Okay, so that's all I'm going to talk about for today. That's like quite a lot anyway. Trying to do things in much more bite-sized pieces, but maybe in like more depth. So I hope that that's been helpful to you. Really appreciate any comments that you want to leave. Really appreciate if you like and share with your astrology friends or onto your Facebook page, or whatever you feel to do. You know, your support of my sharing of this is really appreciated with great gratitude. I'll leave the web address also of Soul Tribe Online. At the moment, it costs $29.99 to join. So I encourage you to join now, because it is going to go up in the near future. Not massively, but you can start joining in and meeting other people who are there. And it's all about connection, creating, working with challenging energy in our life by coming together. And it's very physical, because there's lots of yoga, Kundalini yoga that is offered there. Okay, so namaste, go in peace and love to you all. Bye.